Hey guys, it's Andrew, and it's time for another guide. This is on the King Black Dragon. This is a boss I've been killing a lot over the last half year or so, and I just wanted to show you guys a guide for how to kill it if you have a Black Dragon's task like me, or if you just want to go for the pet like I'm doing as well. So this is a guide on how to get the pet, I guess. I don't have the pet, which seems like it'd be a bad reason to make a guide if you don't have it, but I certainly have a kill count that's somewhat deserving of the pet. As you see right there, my kill count is 1,423, and that's all pretty recent history as well. I also have 7 KBD heads, so and a dragon pickaxe to boot, so I'd certainly say I know how to kill this boss pretty efficiently. And funny enough, I'm actually one of the reasons why this boss is totally worth killing now, which I'll show you guys right now. So back in January, I tweeted Jagex Ash asking about the spawn timer for the KBD. It took 45 seconds to respawn, which was way too long. You just pretty much had to sit around after every kill for a very long amount of time. And he was open to the idea of reducing the spawn timer. And later on the next month, the question was polled, KBD's respawn timer be reduced to 10 seconds, and it passed. So yeah, that was my suggestion, and it's here. Not to brag or anything, but I just want to bring that up to you guys. A lot of people don't know that the spawn timer is reduced, so it's actually much worth killing. It's definitely worth killing now for both money and the pet. You can make about a mil per hour killing it without any dragon pickaxe or visage drops. If you calculate those drops in, which are pretty rare, the money would definitely go up significantly, but the pet is also only 1 out of 3,000, so it's definitely there's a lot in the deal. There's, you know, the chance of the visage, the pickaxe, and the normal drops are very good and they're very consistent, so you get a very good boss overall. And even though you have to go through the wilderness to get to it, you very rarely will run into PKers, and you can't get PK'd while killing the boss, which is most of the time you're spending. So it's very nice. So I'll show you guys a couple gear setups. I prefer to kill the boss with range. I'm going to show you guys 2 setups for each of those and how the process of killing it goes most efficiently. So this guide will be on, I'll show you how to do it with range, but first I'll show you the melee setup, so let's take a look at that. So here's a look at a very optimal setup for killing the KBD with melee. So basically we're going to be protecting 4 things here: the Hasta, the Torture, the Serpentine Helm, and also the Dragon Warhammer. So if you don't have a Dragon Warhammer, you can also substitute in a Tresinous Ring. This will give you 8 stab bonus, and that's a very, very nice boost because you want to kill the KBD with stab. That's his weakness. Otherwise, I'm just going to use the Explorer's Ring for some prayer bonus. Nothing huge there. And of course, if you're on a Slayer task, you'll bring the Slayer Helmet, which gives you the boost for Slayer. And just keep in mind, if you do use the Slayer Helmet, you will need to bring an antidote. So keep that in mind as well. And because I'm using the Torture Amulet, you can substitute that with the Glory if you like. But if you're using the Torture Amulet like I am, make sure you bring something to teleport from 30 Wilderness. Just as a backup, I bring the Royal Seed Pod. It acts as a teleport up to 30 Wilderness. But you can also bring, I believe, an Amulet of Glory will definitely work. And maybe a Ring of Wealth, I'm not sure. That's not normally how you'll be escaping, is by running south. But it's just a good thing to have. And Burning Amulet will get you there very quickly. House tabs are very good to bank if you don't have house tabs. If you don't have the ornate pool in your house, I'd recommend bringing just a games necklace and then teleporting to the Clan Wars arena and teleporting out to get your HP back. But if you have the pool, it's very nice to use. And the reason I use monkfish is because if you bring sharks, it's kind of a waste. They're very expensive right now, and they're actually increasing as well. And you'll probably use about 2 or 3 monkfish for every kill, which works out perfectly because you'll have about 3 or 4 things to pick up for the KBD loot. Often you'll be dropping the extra monkfish, but if that happens, you could just bring less. It's really not worth bringing sharks. I mean, you're spending like 20k on sharks per inventory, and that'll really cut down on your profits over time. So this is the gear I would certainly use. You don't have to bring this. If you didn't want to risk as much, you can switch out this with rune gloves. You can switch out these with climbing boots. Maybe for your first few trips you can do that. This is worth like 6k, and it gives a prayer bonus, so I bought like 20 of these, so I'd say it's worth using. And the Artie Cape is very good. It's extremely good actually because it gives stab bonus and prayer bonus, and a little bit of mage defense as well, which is always good to have. And no matter what setup you're using, make sure you have a black DI body, as this will come in crucial when PKers come. Look at my mage bonus there; it jumps up so much from the black DI body there. And the DFS, which I have, is not really worth using. All it really offers you is 7 strength bonus, which is really nothing compared to what else you could bring here. And while that's helpful, like, your defense at KBD really doesn't matter at all because you'll just be praying, and his other attacks aren't going to be helped by the Dragonfire Shield. So unless you don't have anything else, the Dragon Fire Shield is not really worth bringing as one of your 4 protects. So yeah, keep in mind this. You do have to go through the wilderness here, so you have to be economical about what choices you make. And of course, we're going to be getting there with the Burning Amulet. I'm not going to teleport there right now because I have all this extra stuff in my inventory, but this is how you get there, and we'll be doing that very soon. The brews are for PKers. You're not going to be normally using these, and the super restores, you do need them for prayer, and if PKers come, it's better to have super restores than prayer pots. So yeah, that's the melee setup. You can definitely mix and match here, but I do recommend a stabbing weapon, and the Hasta is really the most crucial thing here. Whatever you do for gear, it doesn't really matter in the long run as long as you have a Zami Hasta, but yeah, this is the best gear setup that I found to work for melee. The Warhammer is pretty good. His defense is very, very high, so when the Warhammer hits, it's a huge help. But if you don't have it, like I said, I recommend a Tresinus Ring. This is pretty cheap, and it gives you some stab bonus, so that'll help your accuracy for sure. And if you are using the Serp Helm, which is still worth using, you won't need an antidote, which is very, very nice. So let's take a look at the range setup. So here's my setup for killing it with range. So my 4 items that I'll be protecting in this situation are the Anguish, the Dragon Hunter Crossbow, which is very, very good, the Pegasian Boots, and the Archer's Ring. If you're not comfortable protecting a 4th item, like you're just worried that you'll panic so much when PKers come that you'll, forget to protect or something, you can definitely switch out the boots. But since I'm a Slayer task, I'll be switching out these. I'll be switching out a couple things. I'll bring a Slayer helmet in and the boots out because they give less range bonus than the ring will give over having like no ring. So this is what I'll be using. The D-Hide is a very good choice because it gives almost the same range bonus as Arma, and pretty much, that's really all you need is the range bonus. And it gives a little. I'm using Bandos D-Hide because it's very cheap for God D-Hide, and it gives the prayer bonus as well. So that's very, very good. Of course, Barrow's Gloves you don't need, and if you don't have a range cape, definitely bring the Accumulator. Diamond Bolts are definitely your best bet. You could use Broad Bolts, or Ruby Bolts, but those wouldn't really be as good. Diamond Bolts lower his defense, which is crucial, and of course the Anti-Dragon Shield, which you need. And because we don't use a Serp Helm, we definitely need some Antidote here. Otherwise, the inventory is roughly the same. So yeah, that's really all you need to know for inventory and stuff. Obviously, you can substitute whatever you like. The Dragon Hunter crossbow is very expensive, so you can definitely use a Rune crossbow or an Armadillo crossbow, whatever you have. The Dragon Hunter crossbow gives a 10% boost for accuracy and damage to all dragons, so that's why I use it, and it's a pretty good choice. You can actually, in this gear, I can hit a 55 with it, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, I'll show you guys how to actually kill the KBD. So just make sure you don't have anything on you that you don't need, and also make sure you have the player attack options on hidden. I've actually never died once to PKers in all of these kills, so I'll show you guys at the end of this video what you can do to tank some PKers. Remember that you don't really have to worry too much because it is single combat. You have plenty of food on you, and yeah, there's not much teams can really do, especially if you utilize the NPCs that are around, which I'll show you guys how to do that. But if you did die, you don't really lose too much. I mean, you lose like 500k, and considering I've never died in almost half the kill count it takes for a pet, you don't really have to worry. But yeah, let's do some kills. So without further ado, I think we're good to go here. I bring the crafting cape for an easy teleport to the bank. Obviously, you don't need that. You can use whatever you like, a dueling ring. It's just nice to have the crafting cape for an infinite teleport, but I know most people don't have that. So teleport to the lava maze, make sure you're all good. Your protects are all good. Sometimes you get attacked by a Black Knight, but don't worry about that. And just to show you guys my protects, that I'm all safe if I die here. Nothing really to worry about. 500k loss, which is not really that bad, like I said, considering I've never died. So this world is actually probably taken, so I'm going to hop around until I find a good world, but you guys know what to do when you go down there. So this world is open, and make sure you immediately drink your extended anti-fire. You can actually turn auto retaliate on, there's really no problem in doing that. So your quick prayers are going to be protect item, just in case PKers come, Rigor or Hawkeye, and preserve, and you could turn off all overhead prayers, you don't need them. Some people think that you're supposed to pray mage when you're here, but it actually doesn't do anything. His attacks, like he's hitting me with right now, are actually kind of typeless attacks. They're not really affected by prayer whatsoever. Of course, pot up here, which I forgot to do. And look how nicely this is hitting, even though I wasn't potted for a very long time here. Sometimes you'll get frozen like this, and when this happens, you can just take this time to eat because you'll be frozen for quite a long time here, and you won't be able to attack. You have time to eat around 3 times when you're frozen, so you can take that time to do whatever you like. Drink whatever potions you need to drink, and yeah, it's pretty smooth sailing. That's one thing to talk about as well. KBD is very, very crowded, and you'll find people occasionally And it's very fast paced now as well because it's 10-second spawn timer. But you know, someone takes a world, you can try out hitting them. You'd be surprised how well you can out hit people. And look at that 258 Slayer experience. So in between kills, you just want to quickly grab your shit here. The time is actually quite limited because it's 10 seconds. So he's coming back right away, and you'll see how quick this is. He's already back. So yeah, that's really all there is to say for in terms of killing it. There's one trick I'm going to show you guys though, because you actually take more damage ranging him than you do meleeing him, because when you melee him, you can pray melee, and occasionally he will melee you, and it will always hit a 0. Whereas here, he's just going to be constantly, that's a 47, nice hit there. He's going to be constantly double 47, holy crap. He's constantly just hitting me with these, you know, 10s and stuff. He can't hit higher than a 10, but it's very consistent. So I'll show you guys a trick, actually, if you want to take a little less damage when killing him. Look how quick that kill was, by the way. I can actually just show you it right now. So we're going to eat here. We're going to quickly pick up our loot. Okay, this guy was, and I will hop, actually, after this trip. But just for the moment, let me show you guys this trick. So stand under him, and then pray melee, and then you'll be the closest range possible where he can actually melee me, and I'll take less damage here. So yeah, that's really all you need to know for the trick, is that you can just stand right next to him and turn protect for melee on, and you'll take less damage because you are getting meleeed like right there. That's a 0 that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So yeah, you'll get around 4 or 5 kills per trip. It depends on his other drops, his secondary drops. He'll drop a lot of rune longswords, U-logs, very good drops like that. So I'll show you guys what I do when I bank, and I will log out for this guy to be a nice guy. So one thing to mention as well is you actually do want to pot up very often, like almost after every other kill, because he has a special attack which he'll use probably a few times per kill, depending on how long it takes to kill him, where it'll say in the chat, "You're shocked and weakened," and kind of get an own this kill, but basically it will lower all of your combat levels by 3, so your range level can go from 112 to like below that in like 2 seconds. It can go, and there's another very good drop, the U-logs. If you need some room, you can feel free to drop any of these lesser potions here, and pick all this up. Don't know why my shift dropped. Oh, I think I turned that off. That's why that's not working. But yeah, so here I got 5 kills, and you might be thinking, why not using a looting bag? I don't really think it's worth using a looting bag at this place. It takes a long time to do it, and it takes a very short amount of time to bank anyway. So yeah, that was one trip that took about 8 minutes or so, and let's see how much loot I got. This is pretty standard loot from one trip. The Dragon Med Helm is actually pretty common from him, so that's really not going to skew it. So in just really a few minutes, there's 166k according to OS Buddy. So yeah, this is very good money per hour, easily around a mil per hour. Just depends on how many U-logs you get. These are the very good drops. You get a lot of rune longswords, things like that. So other than a couple things like Amulet of Power and things like that, 3,000 coins, the drops from them are very, very good. They were buffed a couple years ago, so with a 10-second spawn timer now, it's actually very, very nice to kill him. And yeah, so this is my banking process. What I do here is I just quickly go to this bank, and I'll show you what I grab. So what I'll do is I have these nice and lined up, grab a new range potion. You don't usually need to grab a new anti-fire and antidote. These will last for quite some time. 2 more restores, and monkfish, and then we're good to go. We can just do another trip. And oh, before I don't teleport right here with 13 HP, what I do personally is I go to my house after I teleport, and I use the pool. But if you can't do that, I'll show you what you can do instead. You can just use a games necklace and go to Clan Wars, which I'll show you right now. And I think a lot of you guys already know this, but this is kind of like the poor man's version of the ornate pool, which gives you the HP. What you can do is you can go to Clan Wars here. You just go to the portal over here, the free-for-all portal. There's no red portal in this game, which is very odd, but I guess it was people lured and stuff. And whenever you teleport from here, look at my run energy, for example. When I rub the Burning Amulet, and I teleport to 41 Wilderness, look at my run energy. It goes up to 100. It restores everything to 100. Your HP, your prayer, your run, except your special attack, which you're not going to be using to kill him unless you're using the Dragon Warhammer, which is a downside because the Warhammer spec is very good. But if you were to use a looting bag, you'd have to like come out here, looting bag. You'd have to come out here and use it, and then bring like extra food with you. It's really just not worth it, because if I do that banking trip quickly, it can take like 20 seconds to quickly bank my shit, use the pool, and come back here, and it's just really not worth it. So if PKers come, your best option is basically this. You want to do a couple things. First of all, pray mage and make your way inside. And prey item, obviously, you can put on Preserve if you like, Rapid Heal if you want to go crazy, and if you don't have Augury, which I assume most people don't, turn on Mystic Might and Steel Skin, and that'll give you a lot of defense for both Mage and Melee. And if you're doing Melee, put on your Black DI'd body as soon as you can, and you'll have all this food in your inventory, so you don't have to worry too much. And once you're down here, it's a place I like to call PK or Hell, because it's like impossible to kill anyone down here. These spiders are all aggressive, and once you drink your anti-poison, you can start taking off your armor a little bit here. You can just shift drop things. I have that disabled for some reason here. But once you do that, you can take off anything that gives melee stats. So I'll take off the Barrows Clubs there. And make sure your prayer is full. So get your prayer to full. And then drink a bunch of Sour Brews. Just start chugging these down. You might think it's a waste, but trust me, this will work out really well. And go on the defensive here. And just keep chugging these brews. Chug the brews, chug the brews. And we're just going to drink all of them here. And look at that, my stats are 34. And I have no melee things on here either. And so basically what this does is, even if I'm TB'd, well, if you're not TB'd, obviously you can just go right there right away. But if not, you can just tank this out for pretty much for a very long time. And with the update recently, you can't have people drop food for you. But it will take me minutes to kill this one spider. And when I kill this spider, there'll be another spider ready to attack me. And yeah, I'll be pretty much good to go. There are lots of ways to escape. If you can log out, that's obviously the best thing to do. If you see a white dot that looks suspicious, just immediately log out when you're up there. But otherwise, this is the best way to do it. In the end screen of this video, I'll show you guys I'll link a video that has a good example of me doing this. But if you're TB'd, even if you're TB'd for 5 minutes, you're totally fine. If you make your way down here, which you have tons of food to do because it's single combat, you'll be absolutely fine down here with these lowered stats. So, yeah, that's really all there is to killing KBD. I guess I can teleport out now. But yeah, if you're TB'd for 5 minutes, don't worry, you're fine. But yeah, once you get here, teleport out, and you're good to go. So yeah, that's really all there is to killing KBD. It's actually a pretty simple boss, but there are a lot of strategies you can use for both killing it faster and escaping PKers, which I showed you guys there. This is just like, I did KBD a bunch the other day, and this is what I got. So this is a very short amount of time, 59 kills or so, and 1.3 mil, which is very, very nice. I mean, that took a little over an hour, I'm sure, but you get a lot of good drops, such as the kind of the fletching supplies, and they're all dragon. Rune longswords, you'll get a lot. U-logs are very good. You'll get a few of these, and he drops 2 hides per kill, which is very, very nice, with the buff that came to him many years ago. So yeah, that's really all there is for KBD. Of course, if you don't have all this gear, you don't really need to worry. You can use regular Black Dragon hide. You can use a rune crossbow, like I said. You don't need to use as good as gear as I'm using. Just make sure you don't use untradeable gear like Void, because when you're past 20 wilderness, you will lose that stuff when you die, so that's definitely not worth it. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be reading all of them. But let me know if you guys get the pet with this guide or something really good. I got a dragon pickaxe a little while ago, not actually too long ago, probably when my kill count was around 1,300, and that was in the Sarah pet video, I think, so if you guys want to check that out, you can. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. And please like this video if you enjoyed this guide. If this guide helped you out whatsoever, I'd really appreciate that. Please join the clan chat, AndrewAJT62. It's the same as my YouTube name, so you can join that and say hi. A general hangout clan chat, always some people in it just to talk to. And subscribe if you haven't already. Click the little bell next to the subscribe button if you want to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. And yeah, follow me on Twitter down below. Follow me on Twitch down below, and definitely join the Discord, which has been doing great recently. A lot of activity in there, and a lot of people doing PVM and stuff together, which is really cool to see. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.